Hey y'all, good Friday evening to you. Coming on a little later as usual, or than usual tonight. Check out that little corn coming up. It's making its way. Did a little tilling this evening on those old weeds in between the rows. I was out here thinking, you ever get a song stuck in your head? Well, I have one the last few days and kind of fits. A gentleman by the name of Roger Murrah wrote the song. You may not know the writer, but you'll know the artist. Waylon Jennings and Travis Tritt both recorded it. A couple of others. Talks about where corn don't grow. Hey, good evening, Alicia. How are you? Well, it's a good tune. Always been one of my favorites, and keeps crossing my mind this evening as I was pulling up a few of the weeds here. And what a contrast between where the corn's growing and the weeds under. I think it goes, you might change your mind and you find out the weeds are high where corn don't grow. Talks about a young man that went off to find his fame and fortune in the big city lights and fast-paced life, and even though corn couldn't grow there were still weeds there. So I've come to realize that pretty firsthand here lately. I guess a Friday night a year ago, or even a year and a half ago, would have found me on the road and chasing managing different bands and making sure everything went right for the show that evening. Still love to do that from time to time, but got to make sure who's in control, right? So I pulled the reins back on that, kind of got back to a simpler time and place, if you would. I don't know that I've ever been more at peace. So that old sun setting and chickens are all satisfied. I'm really happy about tomorrow. We're off, so we'll be working around the place. Going to go spend some time with Dad and Mom in the morning for a little bit, and then come back and got some projects I'm going to be tackling here on the place tomorrow. I sure got a burn pile coming on, don't I? May have to move that thing around. It's getting bigger. Have to wait for a good rain to do that. We might get a little bit tomorrow, they're saying. Gonna set the tomato plants out in the main garden tomorrow or Sunday, probably tomorrow. Got a little bit of milder weather next week. Mild in Texas in August means it's not going to necessarily be 100, it's only going to be 95. So I guess we'll take that little bit of mild weather and water those tomato plants in and get that whole garden in full force for the fall. But have y'all had a good week? I hope so. Mine was pretty good. Blessed to have stayed busy all week. But I think tonight we're going to take it easy. Jordan went and got a little meat this evening and got the grill prepped and ready, so I'm about to light that up. And we'll cook a little meat and have the only quart of cream crowders that we were able to harvest out of this little garden. But I guarantee every bite of them will be pretty good, knowing that's all that's coming out of this garden. We'll have plenty along down the road. Well, let's see who all is checking in this evening. Hey, Margaret, how are you? Miss Sandra Cogdell is on, or Cogdell, I'm sorry. How are you? My sweet Aunt Pat is watching. How are you, AP? That's how she likes me to call her, AP. And Pamela's here. How are you? Hey, Felicia. My lovely daughter-in-law, and I'm sure that means little Bella is right there close watching. Hey, sweetheart. What a good time it was with them to visit. I wish I would take every bit of that rain, Pat, for sure. Hey, Sandy, Ralston, how are you? Prayers for y'all flooding up there. I know there's some scary situations going on the East Coast, so we'll be remembering y'all for sure. Brenda, how are you this evening? Let's see who else we've got. Alabama's in the house with Peggy Sue. Miss Molly, dear friend, down in the Golden Triangle. Love that family, love you. Good to see you, Molly. Let's see. Sandra said her daughter from Tennessee is going to be there Monday. Oh, cool. Cool. Well, thank you, Sandra. Hey, Gary. Gunsight, Texas. That's all right. Yeah, that's cool. Well, Sandra, talking about your daughter coming, kind of been holding it out, man. I am super excited about next weekend. My daughter, Faith, lived with me in the latter part of her high school years. Got really close, and as I am with all my kids. But you know how it is when the only girl in the family, and she kept things running straight around the house. She did, really. But she went out to conquer the world, lives in South Carolina, doing a very, very proud of her. She's working on going to college soon, but in the interim has got a very, very nice job that it took me till about 30 to get to that level of salary. I'm just going to blame it on inflation. No, I'm very proud of her, but she's coming out for a conference next weekend in Dallas, and is going to have a little layover time, a couple of days. So we're going to shoot out to Dallas and pick up my favorite daughter. I can say that safely. And she's going to come see the place and make sure we're taking care of Hudson good. And that's going to be good to have her home in Texas for a couple of days anyway. So looking really forward to that next weekend. So y'all will get to meet my daughter, maybe, if I can coax her on to let me washboard Chronicle with her. Hey Mike, how are you? Hope things are easing out in California for y'all. Barefoot Hayes in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, we've rambled again, and night's coming, and I've got a grill to light up and some meat to burn. If I don't do it before dark, it might get burnt. So we're gonna go and get those peas on. The last little bit, I think we might make enough for me and Jordan to eat a few. But it'll be all right. Hey, y'all have a good day. I'm gonna tackle some projects tomorrow, depending on how much time I have after I'm done in Huntington and all. And I've got my eye on some pretty big clearing projects, and now I really can't take my time because they're all jammed into one day. So I may check in before I begin if I feel adventurous and go ahead and tackle that tomorrow. But we're Jordan and I are in duck discussions. He ran up to Lone Star today, got some more chicken feed, and they've got some live ducks up there, and he is wanting him a couple of ducks. And I have no idea what we're going to do with a couple of ducks. I guess they'll be pets, that's about all. But doing a little research on it, we may can merge them into the other end of the chicken house and make them their own little home back there. But it's kind of like that discussion you have with your kiddos on their first pet. Of course, this isn't his, but you're going to take care of that pet, or we're not going to get him. And when you get them and they don't take care of it, it's too late. You got to take over. But no, he'll be all right. So we might have a couple of ducks to name here in the next week or two. So we'll see. Hey Linda, how are you? Sarah, Joyce from Kentucky. Good to see you on here. All right. Mike, what meat? Beef? Well, of course. Of course, Pat. Beef. This is Texas. Yep. I used a word, I think I made up a word the other day. Tebonics. Tebonics. I guess I made it up. I can spell it like I want. That's the art of speaking Texan, like whelp. W-E-L-P does not mean something on your skin. It means you about to go do something. Well, I guess we're going over there. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. Yeah, that would be good, Mason. Tasty and delicious. That's cool. Donald and Daisy. Hey Joseph, how are you? Well, we'll see. I hadn't resolved. I haven't put the stamp of approval on having a couple of ducks just yet, but something tells me Jordan's gonna probably pull a trump card and end up getting them anyway. Then I'm just going to have to build a pen, right? That's usually how it goes. So we'll, I don't know. Now we're gonna have ducktails. Oh man. I need a goat. That's what I need. I need a goat for that pasture. I need a goat more than I do a duck. I wonder if I tie up some ducks out there and they'd eat all that grass. You reckon? I doubt it. Anyway, hey, maybe I could tell all the hunters there's tons of ducks on my place, and they'll bring all their four-wheelers and just smash down the grass for me. Could do that. Be creative. I don't know if I want to meet an angry duck hunter after there's no ducks, so there's a caliber for that, and I'm not ready to face it. No. Hey, y'all have a good evening. Hope the week was good. Y'all smile and make somebody happy. Get out and enjoy life this weekend. Make some memories that you can cling on to. Call a family member or a friend you hadn't seen in a while and just say hello. Might be more than you think. Be the light. We'll talk with y'all later. Bye.